I asked people on my email list to send me some of their DJ mixes. And in this video, I'm going to go through some of those DJ mixes and provide feedback, highlighting the things that they have done well and also the things that they can improve on to try and help them with their DJing. And hopefully you'll enjoy this video too, and hopefully pick up on a few tips if you are a beginner DJ. If you do want to submit one of your DJ mixes for me to provide feedback on, check out the link in the description. Let's get into it. Alright, so we have someone here that sent me a link to their YouTube channel, and they said that they had a few short DJ mixes just like these that I could check out and provide some feedback on. Now, I really like these videos because I can see the decks really clearly and also see the DJ software, which makes it a lot easier for me to provide feedback. If you are thinking of sending in a mix yourself, it really does help. The more that I can see, the better I can help you. So let's check this video out here on the right hand side. Alright, let's press play. Okay, so it looks like we're moving the tempo fader to match the BPM. And then we're into the mix. Alright, so first thing, I wouldn't generally leave a video 12 seconds just to highlight that you're moving the tempo fader. I would probably just get the mix going straight away. So from here, you probably would have been better starting the song a lot earlier, hitting record, waiting for your time to mix, do the mix, and then when you come to edit the video, just cropping it down to the right size, just so it goes straight into the mix from the start. I can see then you also did some kind of wordplay from the word chick on one side when it says the word chick on the left hand side. It sounded a bit squeaky though and a bit out of kind of tone. Maybe, I don't know if you're using key sync on that or something, but it was a bit squeaky. And then one was a bit lower. It might just throw people off a little bit, that is it. I don't think it sounded as cohesive and as smooth as it could have been. I don't think that it fit as well into the other track. It sounded a bit off. And another thing I've noticed as well is these EQ dials here are pointing past 12 o'clock. So you don't really want them boosting frequencies. You really ideally want them just straight up at 12 o'clock. Well, let's have a look at the mix. Alright, so I can see you use the jog wheel then just to get the beats in time with each other. That's good. It looks like you just did it visually. I'm not sure if you've got headphones on and listening to where the beats are and you're just doing it visually. I'm also intrigued to see why you have two loops going at the same time, but we'll keep watching. And also all the EQ dials are pointing down now. The channel fader's up. So it looks like you might have to bring this next track in using the EQs. Alright, a couple of things there. So firstly, a lot of energy was lost by removing the EQs on the track on the left that was playing first. Now, the track on the right only had intro beats at the start of it, which is a very stripped back version of the track, which mainly just consists of drums and here just the kick drum. So by removing the low frequencies and switching them, you're going from a track with kick and low frequencies and bass, and then just turning it over to the other one, which just has kick drums. So you're going to lose energy there. And then that goes the same for the mids. So you remove the mids on the left-hand side and then replace them with the mids on the right. However, the track on the right doesn't really have much mids in there. You can see that with the kick drums, there's not a lot of information between these kick drums on the waveform. So really, you're just removing the mids, which is the bulk of the track on the left-hand side. So you'll hear a lot of the energy drop in that mix. And then kind of similar thing with the highs as well. For me personally, I only really use the low EQ dials to do my mixing. As a general rule, you only really want low EQ dial up at a time, but you do also want to make sure your timing is right when you do switch them. You generally want to go from one bass line to another. Whereas here we went from one track with kick and bass just over to another track with just kick. So you're losing the bass element and that will lose a lot of energy in the mix. With the mids and highs, all right, I have a lot to say about EQ dials. And for me personally, there's no real need to be touching them, okay, much. All right, that might be a controversial opinion. I'm going to do a full video on EQ dials and my thought process and why I don't touch them. But you can layer mids and highs on top of each other. All right, they will not clash frequencies that much. If you're having to touch the mids and highs because your sounds are overlapping, you have a timing problem, not a frequency problem. The only real frequencies that will clash and cause problem in your mixes is the low frequencies. So if you're having tracks that clash the mids and highs with sounds, that means you've got a timing problem, or you can just use your channel fader to bring it in a little more subtly and a little bit pushed further back so the sounds are not overlapping too much. So one's a bit louder than the other. But in terms of frequencies, it's the low frequencies that you don't want clashing and overlapping. Also, last point on this, again, I don't really know why you're looping the top part of the track. You generally want your mixes to time with the phrases. Now, phrases are generally 32 beats. If you listen to a track, you'll hear sounds be added and taken away on these 32 beat phrases. And that is how you want to time your mixing as well. So if you're looping something less than 32 beats, it might throw the audience off because you're going on a different timing. I see this a lot with people doing 4-beat loops and 4-beat loops, and it just doesn't move in that 32-beat phrase structure. You want to try and stick to that structure as much as possible. So it's not really necessary to loop the top track here. Just do it in time with the top track's natural structure. I'm going to show you how to do all these now and what I would personally do instead. And last point, just before I move on, I see that right at the end of the mix, you move the tempo fader back to 128. It's not really necessary. People are not going to really notice that 2 BPM difference. For me personally, when I DJ dance music and house music, I have more of a set and forget mindset. I just set it to 1 BPM and just play it all at that 1 BPM. It's generally around 130, 132, depending where I'm playing and what genre of house and dance music I'm playing. But we'll have a quick listen to that again, and then I'll show you how I would personally do it. A lot of energy lost. Most of the other track gone. Fully switched over, but still in the intro. And then into the other track. So you've just basically sapped all the energy out of the mix, and then it comes back in. So it goes too flat. There's literally just drums playing at one time. All right, so I have both the tracks here, and I'll show you what I would personally do. Now on this track, Sexy Chick, on the left-hand side, we mix out around here, and you can see the waveform where it kind of just dips in volume. That's a really good sign that these are the phrases. So generally before the next phrase starts, it's common for tracks to remove the kick drum, just to create a bit of anticipation, and then they bring the kick drum back in on the next phrase. All right, so if you count along with this here, you'll count that it's 32, and it will change the track and just remove some kick drums. So just have a count along with me. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. All right, so you can hear how that changes in 32 beat blocks. That is how you want to do your mixing. And the intro on this track on the right-hand side is also 32 beats long. So what you've got to do is just overlap them 2 phrases and them 2 blocks, and it should time right. Now, for me, the end of this chorus is around here. And then it goes into like a bridge and more of the verse again, and the chorus ends. So basically what you want to do is this track on the right, just there where it comes in, should time with this one here. So what we need to do is beat jump back 32 beats. And this is where we should press play. So I'm just going to set a hot cue there and a hot cue there just for reference. And this is how the mix would go. I would probably bring the track in on the right hand side with the low EQ dials down slightly, and then wait until right to the end to switch them over. All right. And maybe put a little bit of echo on the left hand side, just so it tails off a little bit more. So that would sound like this. See here, it just tails off a little bit more into the other track. Now my decks are over here on the left hand side, so I might be leaning over, but you'll be able to watch the screen and get the idea. So this is how I would do the mix, and listen to how much smoother it is and how it sticks that 32 beat structure, and that will sound more natural to the audience. And I'm going to try and be a little bit more subtler and smoother, bringing the next track in and switch them over at the right time to keep that momentum. One thing I talk a lot about in my DJ courses is momentum mixing, or what I call momentum mixing. It's how to keep the momentum going on the dance floor and with the audience without any flat parts coming in and kind of losing the energy. So this is how it will sound. Alright, so hopefully you can hear there how that would keep the momentum going a little bit more. It's a little bit smoother and sticks to that 32 beat structure. It doesn't disrupt the structure and the rhythm of the track, and also it doesn't go flat in the middle. Like I said before, the mids and highs don't really need to be touched because there's no clashes of frequencies, because on this track on the right, it's just drums, it's just mainly that kick drum. So there's no real mids there, there's no real highs that are going to clash, so I don't need to touch these. The timing was right, so I didn't need to use the mids and high frequencies, it's just the lows. Alright, let's have a look at one more mix. And I'm going to look at the longer one, so this one's 40 minutes long, but I'm just going to look at the first one, maybe 2 mixes of this and see if I can provide some feedback. Alright, so let's have a listen and see if we can find where the first mix is. So I'm assuming it's time stamped. Alright, so that's a good start. You're starting with an intro of a track, that's a nice start. I like where that starts, that's good. Alright, let's move it on to the mix. Alright, so no loops yet. Let's look at the timing. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about with 4-beat loops, what I was discussing before. For me, that would just throw me off on a dance floor, or as a listener in my headphones, if I wasn't watching, it would just disrupt me a little bit, especially if I know the song. This is a popular song, and that's going to catch people's attention. Now, when I use loops like this, when I'm DJing live, I will do it to deliberately catch the audience's attention, to bring a next track in with impact, but I'll only do it very rarely. Alright, I'll do it, less than 5% of the time. The other times, I'm keeping that flow going from one track to the other with that 32-beat structure that I talked about. So I have 2 4-beat loops going here, so we've completely lost, unless you're counting, which I don't think you are, we'll have completely lost the 32-beat structure here, which is what people are familiar with. And I know they should use stems as well, I think, just to the instruments, but you can still hear that a little bit. And it's going on a little bit too long. Okay, I would be stood on the dance floor now going, what's going on here? As if it's a mistake. Alright, now the other track's looping as well. It's just 2 loops on top of each other that are just sound, because you can hear the bit in How Deep Is Your Love going, what's called a reverse reverb building up on the vocal, and it's resetting every time as well. Alright, and you've kind of lost all the energy there. It's a very unenergetic intro, that, on How Deep Is Your Love. So you go from, I think it's Uptown Funk, I think that's the track, and it's very upbeat, alright? It's a very good track, and then it's going into a more subtler, kind of relaxing part of the song. So you're losing a lot of energy. If you was to do this live, I think you really would lose the energy on the dance floor. So track selection is a big thing here, especially with the first 2 tracks of your mix. Here, I think it might lose it a little bit. I like the layout though. I really like the way you've done this, like with the screen up in the top here, the decks, and you're on the side. 3 different layers are really good. Alright, so your timer was pretty good then removing the other song. I would maybe leave it right up until this part here. I think you pulled it a little bit early, but that's just me being picky. Now, if I just skip back here, I think if you were to do this mix, I would maybe time it here where the vocals come in with when the vocals end. You've set a blue hot cue just here, and I would maybe time it so that when this section of this track ends here at the blue hot cue, this part here would come in on the track. But personally, I don't think I'd pick these two tracks to mix together. What I'll do is I'll jump on my decks again and see if I can do something with this. Alright, so I got both tracks up here, and I think it's around this section here that you mix out of. Alright, somewhere around there. Even if it's not, it sounds similar. Alright, so basically the phrase, like I talk about, ends here. And the one on this side here, I'm going to jump forward, starts here. So the vocal actually starts around a beat and a half before the phrase. Alright, so these are the two hot cues. Let's jump back on this one. And this would be the timing. So as you can see, when this phrase ends on hot cue D, hot cue B starts. Now, it is going to be a little bit of overlap with the vocal. That's just because of that specific track. Again, I probably want to mix these two tracks together. But if it's in terms of timing, this is what I would do. Now, you could use a loop here to blend it in. So another option would be to jump back another 16 beats on Up Down Funk. Now, I know I might be going a little bit quick here, but it will make sense in a moment. So let's just set a 4-beat loop maybe at the start, or an 8-beat loop. Alright, so on the left hand side, hot cue C to hot cue D is one phrase apart, which is 32 beats. And you'll hear the track change. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! And then drop down there. So what I want to do is make sure hot cue B basically times with hot cue D. So I can use this loop to mix it in. Now you can hear that reverse reverb coming in, but we're going to bring it in subtly. So that means quieter underneath. And it's mainly the loop is just for timing, not for audio purposes. And then when hot cue B lines up with D, I'll exit the loop, echo out the track on the left hand side, and hopefully that timing should be a little bit better and sound a little bit smoother to the audience. All right, so let's have a listen to this, see how it sounds. You to breathe me. So hopefully as you can see there, the timing was a little bit better. When the track on the left hand side, the significant sounds and the vocal ends, the next track's significant sound started. For me personally, that is how I'd mix those two tracks together. Like I said, they're not the best two tracks to mix together. I don't feel like they match the energy quite well. And How Deep Is Your Love is actually quite a hard track to mix because of that. It's very low energy at the start. I actually don't play that much live for that reason. I do choose other tracks, but that is how I would personally do it. And hopefully you can see the difference there in the mixing and how more like smoother it is, and it will keep the momentum going as much as possible with these two tracks without using that loop and just kind of keep repeating it and bringing the next track in. So what I'll do is just watch that mix one more time. So like I said before, I just time this bar 5 here with the blue hot cues. Press play now. Start the transition, and then I would echo out of the track on the left into the vocals on the right, and the mix would be done already. So hopefully you can just hear how much quicker my mix was compared to that, and how much it'll just lose the energy on the dance floor, or even to the listener. So like I said, it's all about keeping that momentum. Let's have a look at the next one then, and then we'll move on. No, it's good that I can see you're kind of not really manually beat matching, but you've put the tracks at the same BPM, you're pressing play and using the jog wheel. This again is another kind of controversial opinion of mine. You've not got headphones on, you're not listening to the actual beats, you're just visually matching it up. I don't see the need in that. You might as well just press the sync button. All right, it'll be a lot more consistent. You'll know the tracks are going to be in. It'll be quicker. Yeah, I don't see the point in making that extra step for you if you're not manually beat matching with your ears and you're just looking at the screen, matching it up. You might as well just hit the sync button, press play, they'll snap in time with each other. But that's just my personal opinion. It'll still work. Like, if your way will still work. If anything, I think the sync button will be more consistent. I think if you're doing it with your eyes, there's still a bit more room for error. Whereas if you try and test your sync buttons, make sure your beat grids are in time, they'll always be in time. That's what I do. All right, this is looking a little bit better. Exit the loop there, perfect. So what I'm expecting here, this seems like your timing's perfect. You can see here the significant sounds coming in at bar number 9 and them ending here. Like, you can see that clear line between these two tracks. You've got the intro beats, again, matched up with Green Hot Cue, absolutely perfect. The beats are here, the intro beats, and then just as it goes into the main part of the track, oh, I clicked it by accident. Just as it goes in the main part of the track, the main part of the other track ends. This sounds like, or looks like it's going to be a perfectly timed mix. Now, I can see why you used the loop for that one at the start, like I just did in the previous ones, just for timing purposes. It's not really for audible or for listening purposes, it's for timing. You exit the loop when you're ready to mix, and before that you can get your beats in like you did, and then exit it when your timing is correct. Oh. Perfect timing. That's exactly how you should mix, in my opinion. Smooth. I'm going to watch that one more time and just listen to how smooth that is and how it flows from one track to the other. You get your timing perfect. Yeah, really good. So the loop's going in the background for timing. When it gets to the green hot cues, exit the loop. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, just let's do one more. All right, let's see if we can get a third one and see how that is. But hopefully this is providing, the reason I'm keeping going with this person here is I think it's providing quite a bit of value for the people watching. Doesn't matter if it's different people, it could be the same person, as long as it's different styles of mixing and we can provide value. All right, so we've got a 4-beat loop at the start of this track here, but it looks like some kind of vocals come in a couple of beats after. Let's have a listen. All right, so we're using the loop to beat match. That's completely fine. But again, you've no headphones on, so you might as well just press the sync button and snap them in. All right, lost a bit of energy there. 2 4-beat loops going. So it's going to go out of that 32-beat structure. See how it's just been a bit repetitive? All right, so it's kind of like a bongo sound. Slight bit of double beat in there, but it's very subtle. Okay, I think you correct it. There you go, that corrected it then. One more time. All right. Yeah, that was the way you did the hot cue play was very impressive. I mean, it took you a while to get there, but very impressive. That was very good. I think it was a bit sudden at the end, but I like where you was going there. That was good. I think it would throw people off a little bit if you were to do it live, but I get you just maybe practicing, put this online. Let's go watch that again. It just changes a bit too suddenly. Just maybe work on that being a bit smoother. Bring the next track in, maybe bring one more time in and mix it in as you're doing the hot cue play. I'm not sure, I've never even tried that myself. That's really good though. I like the hot cue play, but yeah, would it work live? I'm not sure. Creative? Yes, of course. Very, very creative. Let's go back to the start on this first bit here. So basically what I teach in my course at the basic level, like on the first few mixes, is that you want it so that when one track's significant sounds end, the next track's significant sounds begin. Now, significant sounds are bass lines, instruments, and vocals. You always really want one of them playing at the time. You don't really want your mixing or your DJ set at all to be missing one of them three elements. You always want some kind of bass line, instruments, or melodies playing. You never really just want drums playing by themselves. So this is one thing I want to highlight here, that you want to time it so that when one track's significant sounds end, the next one comes in, so the audience always have something to hook onto. Now it looks like it goes into a bit of an outro maybe here at the red hot cue. That is when you want the next track's significant sounds to come in and take over from the old track. All right, so it's about that timing. That is the basics of all DJing really. And I can see you removed something from the track there, but you can still hear a bit of bass line, but it's lost its weight. And then you start the loop. Like I said, there's no need for this 4-beat loop at the top. For me personally, people that use the 4-beat loops like that are using them as a bit of a crutch because the timing is wrong. So basically this section here, these 32 beats, is where you should be mixing over. So you've been mixing over this section. You shouldn't really be setting a loop over that part and then taking quite a while to bring the next track in. You're just going to lose the attention of the audience and it's not in that 32 beat structure. So there you have it. That is me providing some feedback. I hope you found that valuable. If you do want to submit your mix for review, make sure to check out the link in the description. Also, if you want to learn how to DJ, check out my DJ courses as well in the link below the video. And if you want to watch another video from me, check out this one here that YouTube is suggesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the future. Bye for now.